right, so the White House is planning to spend $12 billion to break China's monopoly on rare earth elements. This is called Project Vault. It's going to create a massive critical mineral stockpile that would shield American companies from any supply chain disruptions, like Beijing restricting exports during a trade dispute. President Trump says this will prevent a situation like last year.
American businesses have risked running out of critical minerals during market disruptions. Today, we're launching what will be known as Project Vault to ensure that American businesses and workers are never harmed by any shortage. We don't want to ever go through what we went through a year ago. Just as we have long had a strategic petroleum reserve and a stockpile of critical minerals for national defense, we're now creating this reserve for American industry so we don't have any problems.
It kind of reminds me of the SPR, Charlie.
Yeah, I want to know where those rare earth minerals we were supposed to get out of Japan. Like, remember, right out of off the coast? By now, we should be excavating them. We wouldn't need to spend this money. We'd be swimming in rare earths minerals. Listen, it's, I guess, a good thing. You know, you kind of want you want a strategic supply of rare earth minerals around. But damn, I want that Japanese stuff.
I can't believe the first place you went back to is Japan rare.
Because you loved it so much.
I love rare earths.
No, but you love the Japan.
You've got a memory like an elephant.
Did they actually get a deal out of that?
I believe they did. I imagine it wasn't going to happen overnight.
Are we drilling today?
Let me just ask you, Brian, this. If
Yes.
we could pivot to the economics of this. So it's initially going to be funded by $10 billion in a loan from the U.S. Export-Import Bank and nearly $1.67 billion in private capital. Once again,
that's interesting.
President Trump looking for private investors.
Yes. Okay. So unlike Charlie, I'm going to give I totally like this. I'm full-throated approval of this move.
Who could be against it? I mean, it's like being like for communism. Oh, I'm for communism, right? Well, some people are, but I mean, this is like marginally a good thing.
Charlie's against communism, and he's for this, and I'm in the same boat as him. And I like this better, Jackie, than buying stakes in the companies that make this stuff.
Okay.
I like it because what we need ultimately are we need the finished product, so that's what we're going to stockpile, okay? And again, my issue isn't that the Trump administration is going to mess up the mining companies who extract and process this. It's the next guy, right? That's what I'm always worried about, the next guy. I like the strategic stockpile better. And I really like that he's engaging private capital in this. Because, again, at the end of the day, the folks who are going to use this stuff, it's not going to be the government primarily. It's going to be other companies that need it. So this, I don't know who's behind this.
Is it enough money?
I don't know.
12 billion sounds.
It's a start.
Well, it's a start.
It's a start.
By the way, that's 12 billion is what, 1/5? What is it a percentage of Elon Musk's wealth? 12 billion.
I don't know, but I don't know that's a relevant comparison.
No, but he's worth 40. He's worth 400 billion.
Is it enough, Taylor?
Think about, here's the stat for you. Venture capitalists have invested more than $628 million into U.S. startups who are working on rare earth minerals in 2025, accounting for 90% of all funding globally. So if you're a rare earth startup looking to invest in the sector, 90% odds you're getting your money for a venture capitalist startup. Okay. Think how much money now will come in off the sidelines from all these big investors who can now invest in these companies who are just starting it. So to answer the question,
because there's a buyer on the other end, there's a big buyer.
And there's a market for it now, and you now have excitement and support around this, and private capital and private investment, and it's cool to have private industries operate in America again. So I agree, not enough money.
It's a drop in a bucket. I mean,
totally,
3% of Elon's
it's a
net
good
worth.
Starting point.
0.3.
And if this draws in capital from outside, from the VC world, from all of these smart, brilliant founders who can dump money into this sector, I like it. It gets the private sector invested.
It does that, and it is small, but it's a start, Brian, to your point too. But is it a signal? Is it just, you know, even at the level that it is right now, Trump saying to Xi Jinping, you're not going to hold us hostage anymore. We're working on things here. What happened last year during our trade negotiations, we're not going to allow ourselves to be at your mercy to accept bad terms on a deal because you've got the rare earths.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a
little bit of a poke.
It's a little bit of a poke to them. It's a little bit of a, trying to change the narrative, the news narrative, because again, 12 billion is I mean, that's infinitesimal. I mean, in terms of
But you
the
do
federal
know
government.
12 billion could get bigger.
It could.
You know,
it's 3%. It's
Like bench pressing 135 is small for you, but it got bigger over time.
It's
right? It could get bigger.
It's 0.3% of Elon Musk's net worth. It's just.
So you'd rather have zero?
Usually, private capital does flow to things without government prodding. It's if there's a profit to be made. I'm just saying that.
Well, they're saying that the reserve could turn a profit. Did you see that?
So the federal government
Yeah.
is now.
They're going to make money at this.
So the
That's
federal
what
government.
They're saying.
See, that's another thing I have a problem with. All this stuff about get involved in these companies and.
No, I agree. I think that's a problem. I don't think it even has to make money, but the fact that look, if this is as strategic as oil. Jackie, you brought up the SPR, right? This is as strategic as oil. Maybe you could argue even more strategic in the years ahead. So if you're going to have a reserve of something, you want to do this, and maybe you start with 12 billion, and maybe it grows to be 100 billion, and 90% of that is private capital.
By the way, if you said 400 billion, it'd be small.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It would still be small.
We do have limited amounts of money to play with.
I mean, that's
38
I would
trillion.
try to say
But that's the problem here. I mean, when you are spread this thin, which we are as a federal government, we're spread wickedly thin, and it's one of the reasons why I can't believe people are against this immigration enforcement, because it's literally people tapping into our welfare
out of the
state.
system, yeah.
And, it's the reason why we have all this debt, and one of the reasons. You can't do stuff that really matters. And this is one of those problems. It's a drop in the bucket. We should have much
agree with
more
you.
here. We should have like a federal effort to make sure we're never screwed out of rare earth, since it's.
Well, they
I
started.
agree with
They're
you
obviously starting it.
1,000%. But what happened is we let China run away with it. We do
Absolutely.
have resources here. We just sat on our heels. The same way,
And we have Japan
Biden, and Japan is coming. But the same way the Biden administration didn't want to go full force ahead on AI, for example, and let China kind of take the lead on that, and now we've flipped the narrative on that. You've got to start somewhere. I mean, for so long we've been on our heels. If we just say, oh, well, we don't have enough and 12 billion is nothing, why bother? I don't think that's a healthy approach to it.
I think one way at it is what's in the big, beautiful budget. It's unleashing capitalism. And, I think the less government gets involved in these efforts, the better, except for getting involved in, like, getting out of the way and creating a business environment and a sort of a regulatory environment to let people drill for rare earth minerals, which I think they will at some point. There's a huge demand.
There is. I mean, this is the future.
So then why get involved? I mean, it seems to me as a photo op. By the way, every president does it. It doesn't cost a lot. 12 billion is like 12 cents to.
I do not think it's. I really don't think it's a photo op. You can argue that it's too small. You really think
You're not going to be
Trump
reading
is
about
going
this that
for
much.
a photo op on rare earth reserve? That's a photo op.
It's one of the many photo ops. I mean, one of the ways you change the narrative, and he's had a rough month, is to do stuff like this, and we'll be seeing more of it. But it's our job, in my view, to sort of dissect it and say, well, how much does this really matter? And I think it's
you
de
want to
minimis.
dissect it.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. The way I read this, we have a strategic petroleum reserve, and we have a strategic reserve for rare earth minerals for national defense. This is a reserve for businesses. So this is more helping the business community, which I think is great. I don't know.
Jet engines, radar, EVs, phones, laptops, you name it, rare earth is in everything I feel like we use in business every single day.
And
Well, that's the thing. The leaders will get behind. Say we're in a position like we were last year, and China's sucking you dry and giving you bad trade terms, and Trump is trying to get you a better deal. But all the business leaders are very skittish to a certain degree because they're afraid that China will pull the plug. If you've got a little bit of a cushion, it gives you more leverage.
Plus, it wasn't that long ago that political leaders in America were saying we're not doing rare earth business in America.
Right.
We basically shut it down like 40 years ago. And this is the first administration, I think, that's full-throated said we're doing it here. So maybe it's a small start, but you talk about pulling away barriers. Nobody has pulled away barriers from
No,
this.
and that's a good thing. I just think a $12 billion strategic reserve is like having 12.
It was like when Dr. Evil thought $1 million was a lot.
That's a perfect analogy. And they all started laughing at him.
Right.
That guy got
And we
4
can't make
samples.
that we couldn't make that ransom. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
By the way, Jackie, I know you got to go, but I just want to point Charlie to a headline from yesterday. Japan said Monday it has successfully drilled and retrieved deep-sea sediment containing rare earth minerals from the seabed near a remote
why do we have to
island
spend $12
as
billion?
the country seeks to reduce its reliance on China?
So why do we have
So,
to-
Charlie, you should write a story about
But
that.
why do we have to go to spend another $12 billion or 12
Because we
cents?
can add what
We
we
can
get from
add
Japan.
this.
Oh, and plus,
to the reserve.
yeah, that's
Charlie, breaking news for you.
huge dent in the rare earth.
Okay, let's
Surf
switch
you.